Hey Mepham, welcome back to yet another episode of Midweek Update.
In today's episode, we take a look at California local news, including an all-new sports commentary, an insight to a Shoreline Village in Long Beach, California, the first spring sports shoot of the season, and our first senior interview for the class of 2024.
This and more on this week's Midweek Update. I'm Maya Stone.
And I'm Matt Natof, and welcome back to the Midweek Update, the B&B show that brings you closer to the people and places in and around the Mepham community.
Hey Matt, if you had a spirit animal, what do you think it would be?
Easily a goat, because you know, I'm the greatest of all time.
Well, I was thinking mine would be a dog just because they're cute, but I guess a goat's pretty good too.
That works too. But goats are really my spirit animal. It's the spirit of all the greats.
Well, why don't we go look at one of those greats?
The city of Long Beach has a legendary history of raising great athletes. Take Tony Gwynn, maybe the greatest hitter of all time, or even Mercedes Lewis. But none will be more impactful than Billie Jean King.
Billie Jean who?
Billie Jean King grew up in Long Beach, California, where she began playing tennis, and even had this library named after her in her honor.
Oh yeah, I knew she was a good tennis player, but I haven't really heard of her.
She wasn't just a tennis player, if you ask me or anyone in the Long Beach community. King's journey is inspiring not just in the realm of tennis, but in the city.
And hey, I just found this. I didn't realize she won her first title when she was still in high school.
More than just that, high school was the start of her dominance. King went on to win 29 singles titles, 67 WTA tours, and 39 Grand Slam titles.
Well, she was the first woman to make over $100,000 in one season.
And these accolades weren't only seen by the Long Beach community, but by female athletes worldwide, as she served as a source for admiration for many.
Throughout her career, beginning in 1968, she went on to beat Bobby Riggs in the Battle of the Sexes, which was a monumental event, which kind of reminds me of the anticipation of the UNESCO vs. Curry shootout this year.
King smashed barriers in female sports, and there's a possibility we wouldn't know the names Mia Hamm, Sabrina Agnescu, and Caitlin Clark if Billie Jean King didn't pave the way.
Yeah, and before today, I had never really heard of Billie Jean King, but I'm realizing that I wouldn't be the athlete that I am now if it wasn't for the GOAT, Billie Jean. For STN, I'm Michaela.
And I'm Jake Mano, reporting.
Wow, when I grow up, I'm gonna be just like her.
You know, she probably didn't get there on her own. She probably had her whole entire family helping her.
To be that good, she probably had a whole community helping her.
You know a place with a really good community that I visited? A village in California.
Well, you can't just say that and then move on. No one else knows what you're talking about.
Shoreline Village is a collection of shops located here. We have restaurants, bars, and also shops of different types. So many people can come here looking for what they desire. So our shop is different because we're kind of an environmental shop. We have things that come from our ocean, like shells, sea stars, things that are made from carbon skeleton. We kind of want to show people that they're really important and that we should take care of our ocean.
It's just as unique as the city of Long Beach itself. The people, the shops, you know, all the different colors, all the different flavors, and the smells, you know, some of the birds, some of the food, all the things.
It creates a really beautiful environment, physical space, and it brings the community together here to share in that. There's shops, there's restaurants, there's things to do. So, and it's accessible right here on the dock and creates a real sense of community around town.
It's wonderful. I mean, Long Beach is super vibrant, but Shoreline Village is so fun and funky with all the restaurants, the shops, the boats, things to do. It's really just a fun day to spend an afternoon.
Oh, that is a good community.
You know what else makes a good community? Being on a sports team.
Oh yeah, didn't our spring sports just start?
Yeah, they did, including boys lacrosse.
Well, I know B&B wouldn't miss it for the world.
Thanks, guys. Now that we've entered the fourth quarter, spring sports are in full swing. In anticipation, B&B has been gearing up the crew for yet another season of successful shoots covering many high-octane games here at Mepham. Kicking us off will be tonight's boys lacrosse game against the Long Beach Marines, a fierce face-off as both teams share an overall record of 2-1. In the remaining months of this school year, expect more lacrosse, flag football, softball, and baseball games that our skilled B&B crew members will be manning cameras, operating computer equipment, and providing play-by-play as well as in-depth commentary of the action. And remember, you are already in the right place. B&B YouTube channel is your source for live coverage. For B&B, I'm Brianna Goodman.
Maya, do you think we can keep this sports streak going?
I think we can with some help from Mel Arcos.
Thanks, guys. Our Mepham spring season is in full swing. Our baseball team has only had scrimmages so far and are looking forward to their first game next week in Long Beach. The softball team had a game yesterday, home, against Oceanside, and another one tomorrow over in East Meadow. To bring it over to the field, our boys lacrosse team had a game on Saturday where they lost 13-10 against Floral Park, but they have their next game today at home against Long Beach, so make sure you go support. Our girls lacrosse team had a game yesterday at home against Oceanside and will play their next one on Thursday over in Bethpage, so make sure you wish them good luck. Last but certainly not least, our girls district flag football team had a game this past Saturday against Plain Edge, which they won 12-6, and they will play Freeport today at 5, so go check that out. That's all for me. I'm Mel Arcos, and back to Maya and Matt in the studio.
Well, before we go, as you know, the school year's coming to an end.
Yeah, and that means our seniors, myself included, will be leaving us soon.
So, we thought they should get one more chance in the spotlight before they graduate.
Ta-da! Introducing senior interviews. This week's interview is Liam Osborne. Welcome to the show, Liam. So happy you could take the time to come and reflect on your time with us in B&B.
Thank you for having me.
So, Liam, what have these past 4 years in B&B been like for you?
Well, it feels at the same time like a lot longer than 4 years and a lot less than 4 years. I still remember I know, it sounds kind of cliche, but I remember my first day here like it was yesterday. And yet that also feels like such a long time ago. But yeah, it's been great. I've done a lot of really crazy things, like go to California twice. Not a lot of people get to do that. So it's been pretty crazy.
Well, what are some of the biggest things you've accomplished during your time in the program?
Well, as I just said, I went to California twice, competed in some contests there. I also took over 2 wonderful shows, Talking Cookies and Film Festival, which anyone watching who doesn't watch should watch because they're great shows. That's pretty much it, yeah.
Those are some great accomplishments. What's something you've learned during your time here that will stay with you for the rest of your life?
I'd say one of the biggest lessons is sort of an analogy is something that Mr. Stein always teaches us, or not so much anymore because we should know this by now, but is when you're filming something, don't be afraid to get the camera in really awkward, uncomfortable places, and not just uncomfortable for you, but often uncomfortable for other people around you. But I think that lesson applies to other things outside of filming stuff. To not be afraid to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, because it's often that's where you have a lot of really interesting, exciting experiences. Yeah.
What was one of your favorite B&B Film Fest or Talking Cookies episodes that you produced?
Okay, this one's kind of dumb, but I'm kind of proud of the Talking Cookies episode where we had the hooded figure as the guest, because it was so ridiculous and out there, and I think it came out pretty well. And I mean, I'm very proud of everything, every episode of everything that we've done. So it's hard to pick one, but.
What will you miss most about B&B after this year?
What will I miss? It's a lot of things. I mean, just, coming to this room and knowing all the people that I'm going to see in there. A lot of really wonderful people. So yeah, that's it.
Thanks for coming on the show, Liam.
Thank you so much for having me.
Liam's truly accomplished so much. This whole revolution in motion graphics here. This program's not going to be the same without him.
I totally agree.
You know, Maya, I'm really going to miss you.
Don't worry, I'm not leaving yet. You can't get rid of me that easily.
That's great. But for now, that's it for this week's episode of Midweek Update. We'll be back next week with all new stories from around the BMCHSD to bring you inside the parts of the community we don't always get to see. Until then, I'm Matt Natof.
And I'm Maya Stone, and we'll see you all next midweek.